Everyone knows what science is, but have you ever heard the perspective of a woman in science? I had not, so I decided to research it. Hi, I'm Abby, and I'll be focusing on the question, what obstacles do women in the field of science face and how does it impact their careers? Today I'll be telling you about how women are treated, who treats them badly, the obstacles they face in education, how they deal with these barriers, how they band together, and the statistics of women in science today. Women have always faced a more difficult time than men. Women started to band together when a law in colonial America was passed, saying that women could not keep money or own property. They worked together to make their own clubs, and in 1869, women tubercules built their own union together. In STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, barriers against women are still relevant. How are women treated? Well, women are treated badly, whether it's by men in the same position or higher up. A study by the Pew Research Center shows that the STEM work environment is different. It can be more aggressive towards women than men. STEM jobs have been reported to have many unique experiences. One is women feeling they're not capable. This is also known as imposter syndrome. Lots of studies by different organizations have shown that women get paid less than men. Men are more likely to hold higher positions as well as get what they want more often. The UN still tackles the problem of gender inequality. One of their goals is women to have equal access to work. I interviewed Christine Testaverde, a medical scientist. She told me about the last job before the secure one she has now. She said in her last job there was a boys' club. You had to be in the boys' club to be listened to or even respected. If you were not, your ideas were not often used and you barely got to say anything. She was very happy to move jobs. Young girls have less women in science and STEM to look up to. A lot of science is math. Teachers who are mostly women, a lot of the times have math anxiety and they pass it on to girls. They think that girls have to work hard to get to the same place as boys, which is really unfair. What obstacles did schools and education present to women studying to be in the STEM field? Rosalind Franklin is a well-known scientist around the world. She is known for discovering DNA. When Rosalind was in college in 1838, she did not count as a full student. No women did. A lot of times, women did not even go to school. Schools would not often let women into their school, but if they did, the living quarters were really small and harsh and scarce. Men's living quarters were not only nicer than women's, but larger too. How do women deal with and respond to this way of being treated? When Marie Curie was in France with her husband, they knew that no one would care for her findings, so she worked in the basement of their house. When Marie's daughter Irene was born, Marie started working at the École Normale Supérieure, the School of Normal Superior, in France to support her family. After they moved their lab to a shed, Marie came up with all of her ideas on her own and never gave up. In World War I, she opened mobile radiology units to study the effect that radiation had on tumors. She's one of the pioneers of women in science. Some women, for example Marie Curie, work with their spouses or other family members. A lot of women scientists have role models. Rosalind Franklin's Aunt Alice was a leader in the British suffrage movement, and her Aunt Mamie was notorious for driving her own car around town. At the time, women were supposed to be like dolls, very controlled, so driving was a big no-no. These were her role models. What are the statistics regarding women in science today? Women are definitely underrepresented in STEM, even though they make up 47% of total workforce. Even construction companies employ more women in STEM jobs. There are only 29% of women in STEM labor, 19% on STEM company boards, and only 3% CEOs in all of STEM. Women only make up 5% of all mathematics and statistics students globally. The good news is that half of all biologists are women. Women's STEM board positions rose 18% in 2020, and women's applications for science-geared colleges increased 2% yearly. According to the global average, girls get better test scores than boys. Overall, I think that women are definitely underrepresented in STEM, but so many are trying to change that. Today I talked about how women are treated, who treats them badly, the obstacles they face in education, how they deal with these barriers, how they band together, and the statistics of women in science today. Women and girls are excelling in STEM.